It may be noon in the world, but it's 9 a.m. in my heart.
That black and triple thing you call a heart. You're a GM, Jerry. Come on.
Oh, yes. Ha 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 ha. I will crush you. No, I won't.
You couldn't crush me.
No. I'm not the crushing type. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Court of the Rings here on twitch.tv/LotroStream, youtube.com/Lord of the Rings/live, and facebook.com/Lotro. Hey, folks, it's been a while. I am,
Who's this guy?
yeah.
Show.
I'm Lotro's community manager, Cordovan. I've been gone for, frankly, since, about mid-June, really. About a month now, kind of on and off, right?
I think so, yeah.
And it's because of the summer. It's got me doing things. How's it going, Druid's Fire? Thank you very much for being with me today.
I'm healing up after last week's misadventure. It was fun.
I have to admit, I didn't watch it. I've been places. I've done things. I've been hopping around a part of the globe called the United States a couple of times, and visiting family and things like that.
There wasn't
having a good
anything
time.
to watch.
There is, however, this weekend.
There is tomorrow.
Dun, 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 dun. News alert. Welcome to Court of the Rings News here on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I am news anchor Jerry Snook. First off, we got Weatherstock. 9, right?
Weatherstock.
9?
No, it goes to 11.
11. Weatherstock 11 Saturday, right?
Tomorrow from 9:30 to 6. Okay, the last quote-unquote act goes on at 6 o'clock, and God only knows when he's going to be quiet because somebody named Jerry gave him a Speaker of Words title.
Mm-hmm. And there's also going to be a whole bunch of new titles distributed during that event, I believe, correct?
Yes, there will be.
Because we were able to make up some, I don't want to say generic titles, but titles that would generally apply to a series of different kinds of events, one of them being concerts. So we have, like, say, concert attendee, speaker of words, for things like MCs or what have you, whatever that title may best apply to. We've got, I'm trying to go off the top of my head here. We've got, like, musician, for example, so that members of the bands can have a title during their set or whatever if they wanted to, or whatever. And do you know, because I have not been able to be really directly involved in this other than supplying some things to give away and things like that. Oops, and I think I just lost my webcam. Regardless, yeah, I don't know what happened there. Regardless, you have been in touch with, say, some of the organizers of Weatherstock and that. Do you know how those codes will end up being distributed?
Typically, the way they do it is during the event, they'll have somebody in chat, in game chat, like on site will be saying, hey, if you want whatever title, send me a tell, and then that person collects the names and then sends them a plus mail.
So, in-game and on Twitch.
Yes, Aldoleth is going to be running the giveaways on Twitch tomorrow, and it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun.
And just real quick again, actually, let me quick call up a thing. What's the quickest website for Weatherstock?
It's actually Weatherstock. Well, I think it's like weatherstock.guildlaunch.com, but there isn't like a website per se. LotroArtist.com will have the schedule though.
Okay. Yeah. I think I've actually got the schedule here-ish. Let me see if I can copy that over real quick. So, if you're in-game, that may be something you would want to check out. If you can't get in-game, for example, we will be hosting you, Druid's Fire, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
We'll be
you're not hosting me. I'm stealing your channel tomorrow.
Yeah, you're taking over the channel basically all day long, which is fine. So you said basically about 9:30 to whatever time that was.
Whenever Corey gets done talking, which could be 7, could be 8. Could
Tuesday.
Be 9. Tuesday. Don't tempt him.
All right, so anyway, that's happening tomorrow right here on twitch.tv/electrostream. Hope everyone has fun. Hope all the participants have a great time. Hope all the bands and musicians who I know have worked very hard on this put together a great show. Overall, it's going to be a fun weekend in Lotro. The other thing I wanted to mention is let me call up a internal page here because I've got just a little bit of kind of news I can talk about what's coming next. So we're currently working on a patch that's probably tentatively set for around the end of the month. Let's say if something comes up, maybe push to early August. And it's going to be a small patch that's going to have some things which are settled on and some things which are not yet settled on. So I don't want to talk about things that are not yet settled. But where did I see that now?
I don't know.
Hang on a sec. I was working on some release notes this week, and I wanted to. There's a couple things in those release notes that I can talk about, so let me do so. All right, yeah. So this would we're tentatively putting together what's called update 24.2. Like I say, the exact details of the content will become more clear as we get close to it. I'm not going to break too much news on that now, but we do have some content that'll be coming out on June 30th. In addition, we have some captain work, and I was talking a little bit to Vastin before the stream here today about, hey, how comfortable do you feel maybe just summarizing some of this work that came through in what seemed to be a fairly stable release note form yesterday? And he was like, yeah, I think most of that, as long as people will understand that some of this may be tweaked and some of the numbers change and that, I think it's mostly ready to go. So let's see. So Captain's skill and effect progressions have been normalized. So that's pretty normal stuff. Many skill execution animation times have been shortened. That's to, speed things up a little bit. Most heals have had their magnitude increased. Most damage skills have had their magnitude increased. Revealing mark, this is a pretty big change, a little bit of a nerf, but the revealing mark has been adjusted to now place a triggered area of effect on the target. The effect is triggered by any skill attack pulsing a 6.5% heal from within 10 minutes of the target. This proc has a 3-second cooldown. That's a pretty significant change from what was there, which was kind of you get that heal effect from wherever you might be. This turns into more of an AoE on the target.
Wait,
but it
you
was
said
something that
10
needed to be
minutes?
done.
10 enemies,
10
10 meters.
meters.
Yeah,
Did
not
I
minutes.
say minute?
Very-
Sorry.
Yeah, this is no Star Wars 12 parsecs thing,
Yeah, sorry. Okay, I will correct that on the release note, so I make sure it's the M is meters. But yes, within 10 meters. So it's a fairly generous distance, but it will not be increasing. And it will, the way it was described is as long as people are hitting it, this thing's going to pulse pretty much as it can. So anyway, that'll be a change, though. Words of Courage is now primarily a heal over time effect with a 30-second duration. Grave Wound has had its base cooldown reduced. Valiant Strike has had its base cooldown reduced. It's halved. Its healing over time component increased in intensity, but reduced in duration, so more, but for a little bit less time. Muster Courage has had its cooldown reduced. Standard of Honor's pulse rate's been lowered, but its healing pulse magnitude's been increased. Again, bigger numbers up front, but for a little bit shorter period of time. Fighting Withdraw's parry bonus has been reduced from 60 to 40%. Its cooldown reduced from 120 seconds to 60 seconds, and its duration reduced from 30 to 20 seconds. So, the parry bonus reduced, but it has a much halved cooldown. Duration also reduced a bit to account for that. Strength and numbers pulse rate reduced. Magnitude increased. Fix an issue where the healing magnitude of Banner of Honor was incorrect. Cry of Vengeance can no longer be used while moving, sorry. Steeled Resolve now provides its correct 2468% maximum morale bonus. Arundel's Fury no longer provides a defeat event, but instead provides a large damage bonus when it has a full stack. An array of Elvish Captain Heralds and Archers have been added, and Herald and Archer damage, morale, and mitigation have been increased. That's where we currently sit on a relatively solid state on the captain ahead of a patch that is tentatively set to be, let's say, late this month, maybe early next month, kind of depending on where things fall. And there is some content coming in that too that I don't really want to break news on today, but there is a little bit that's coming there as well, and related work. And then there's for those bug fix folks, we're correcting an issue where the Anvil of Winterstith Tier 3 package items were displaying the incorrect item level during selection. Fixing a stuck spot at the Bjorning House, a death spot in Breetown, a death pancake. Fix an issue where the cave entrance in Western Angmar would not display correctly, and a couple other minor things. So, all right. So that's the state of things. And like I said, there's a couple of big pieces that I just kind of didn't mention because we haven't talked about it yet. That'll be coming as well. All right, let me kind of quick go through the
We have other news coming up soon.
We do.
We do. It's a certain dice rolling event in Indianapolis.
Oh, you're right. Thank you for reminding me.
How could you forget?
Hello from Finland. Hello. Elvish Heralds. I've been hoping they'd join the game eventually. Cool. I'm surprised they have this much concentration. Or he learns some language that people... Oh, sorry, I don't know what that means. Hello, Cordovan. Any word about the next expansion? Stay tuned. That, is something that we have said. We're heading to Minas Morgul for an expansion, but we have not yet gotten into detail. It is going to be not next, because that's the thing I was just talking about, and so I think a lot of our work has been focused on that. Stay tuned, though. We're closer rather than farther away on that one. When is Bulrar opening with a new 6-person instance? My understanding is that unfortunately we ran into some technical issues propping Bulrar this week and elsewhere that kind of have maybe put that schedule off a little bit from what we were intending. Should be fairly soon, though, I would think. Any ETA on the new instance coming? Yes, but nothing I can say.
I could whip out a soon Twitch emote because Sapiens is a goober.
Ooh, sorry, Chromite. You're finding some items in the item database. I can't say anything about that one. Gen Con Woot? Yes. Will there be a rerun of the summer festival? I have seen people's interest in a summer festival encore. It seems like every time we do that encore, we also hear from people who are like, why you do so many encores? I just don't want that. So we always kind of have to go back and forth as to whether or not we should actually do it. But I think there's enough of you out there that if we can fit it in, I think it would make some sense. Those patch notes are not yet available anywhere, Al J. Bookworm, but they will be coming soon. Hello from Australia. Hello from Greece. Cool. All right, so that's the other piece. I want to call this up because we are doing a thing. Friday, August 2nd, in Indianapolis, Indiana, during Gen Con, not in Gen Con, we are going to be hosting a player meetup for both the Dungeons & Dragons Online and Lord of the Rings Online communities. And this is going to be taking place on Friday, August 2nd from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern at Punch Bowl, Indianapolis. It'll be happening the Friday evening of Gen Con. No ticket to the convention is necessary. It is free to attend. Free to attend. You are responsible for your own beverages. There will be a cash bar available. A light food table will be available on a first-come, first-served basis. Don't expect too much more than, say, maybe finger food and some chips and salsa or something. But that probably will be available. If you play Lotro, DDO, or friends or family with people who do, we would love to see you. You can be under the age of 21, yes. That is actually kind of a biggie in terms of changes this year. I've heard you that you really want a place where you can take, say, like your 18, 19-year-olds that are at Gen Con with you, someplace that Friday evening. Uh, I didn't know this was going to happen. But then when I saw the contract signed this week, it said that between 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern, those under the age of 21 are allowed in. They, of course, cannot drink. They cannot violate any rules. They must be with, like, a parent. But it is possible. So, if you are attending Gen Con or in the area close enough that you think it would be worth driving to downtown Indianapolis at 7 p.m. on a Friday evening, August 2nd, you're welcome to do so. Please RSVP, though. I need to get a total to the establishment by say, early next weekish, middle of next weekish. So RSVP if you can. I even have an option there of like, I'd like to go, but I don't know if I can. So do that if you want to. And you'll find a link in the forum thread. Let me call that back up here. Oops. You can RSVP either on Facebook or through a SurveyMonkey survey that I put together. And there's also going to be some games and stuff, like bowling, ping pong, darts. They called it Bonzini, and I was like, I don't know what a Bonzini is. Do you know what a Bonzini is?
I do not know what a Bonzini is.
You and I, upon typing in Bonzini in Google, I was like, oh, so you mean a foosball table. Apparently, its formal name is Bonzini. I did not know that.
I actually did not know that. But
I did not know that either. And I couldn't get it because the place it's a little bit too small to host an event. But there's a vintage arcade.
Now y'all know why we're going there, kids. It's because Jerry wanted to play video games at a tabletop gaming convention.
Okay, so yes, this is true. However, the other thing is I was looking, the place that we normally went for Gen Con in recent years is unfortunately not available. My understanding is they closed. Just like went out of business, closed, which is a real bummer. And so I was looking at a place, well, where am I going to rent or get a place for, let's say usually we're a crowd of about 80 or so people for, this meetup. And I was able to shake loose just enough of a marketing budget to do a low-cost thing here. So this will be at Punch Bowl Social in Indianapolis. It's right downtown, a little bit northeast of where we normally are, but they do have some really nice stuff here as well, including, like I say, bowling. There may be a charge. I think you guys are going to get charged for your shoe rental. I don't think that's something that we're paying for, but that's like a couple of bucks or something like that if you want. But the bowling alley is going to be open. And it's got a vintage arcade here. It's got table games, like I said, foosball, things like that. So I don't know. It was kind of cool. And that is going to be Friday, August 2nd, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern. Please RSVP if you think you can go. And like I say, we, under 21 is allowed on the premises, of course, within strict rules between 7 and 10 p.m. Eastern. So I think it should work out. And you don't need to be going to Gen Con. You just got to be in the area. Also, shout out to bloggers, vloggers, writers of any sort that do Lord of the Rings online related things. If you are going to be at Gen Con, please get in touch with me. We would be happy to do either a pre-taped, live, video, audio, interview. Probably going to be me and Sev, I would think. I think those are the two of us who are going to be there directly. But that is something I would be happy to do. And my thinking on that would be that Saturday. So if you're going to be in the area and have a few minutes to spare and you want to do something, let me know.
I got you, fam.
Yep. We'll definitely be doing something for your blog and stuff like that, too. But anyway, hey, so that's pretty cool news, and I'm really excited. That's been in the works. We're just kind of waiting on some signatures and that for a couple weeks now. So please, hopefully some folks here from Lord of the Rings Online can go. It tends to skew a little more DDO at Gen Con just because of its nature as predominantly a tabletop RPG style convention. But we're usually at least 80-20. And so far on the reservations, it's more like 60-40. So there's still plenty of opportunity there for you. I can't promise any swag this year, though.
Yeah.
You guys cleaned me out last year, and I haven't had a budget to make more. So we'll see. But anyway, that should be very cool. So
Yeah, between Gen Con last year, PAX East this year, and Age of Brigman's class visiting, yeah, you guys cleaned up the swag for you.
yeah, Bonzini is a brand. Okay, very cool. Let me get back to the questions. Now, so those are the big three pieces of news there anyway, and that should be pretty exciting. And I'm very, very excited, and I hope that some folks here can go.
I will be there. Last year we had the Grey Wardens in Belleville were there, but I don't honestly know if they're coming this year.
Any news for the Legendary server? Just that we're continuing along our progression here. Should have something to say, in the relatively near future, but it's not quite yet ready for that yet. Let's see.
Yiki actually asked a question. He had said that somebody said,
Yeah.
Mill being what it is,
I don't.
PvP with the next one.
Yeah, someone has
Confirm that or
said,
not?
have I confirmed PvP on Legendary servers at level 75? No, I did not confirm that. I hope I didn't confirm that.
I don't recall you saying anything about it.
My understanding is that it'll probably be more later than that, at the very least. I have no idea. I have no idea when, but I did not say that, and hopefully I didn't say that. That is unfortunately not the case. Sorry, PvP folks who want to be on the Legendary Worlds. We're not yet ready for that yet.
That's better than saying never.
Can you please return the Curator? He is currently replaced by a seasonal vendor, but the Curator is not a seasonal vendor because it sells only Dwarven Elven items from Arid Mithrin and Northern Mirkwood. Its items are intended to change over time. So I agree, and I apologize that we didn't necessarily do the best communication job on this one, but the general way this is going to work is you got your seasonal vendors that are going to swap in and out, not based on real life seasonal, about every 4 months-ish or whatever, 3-4 months. 3 months, because it's a year. 3-ish months. Okay, I can do the numbers. Anyway, the seasonal vendors are going to kind of swap in and out and offer seasonal-based rewards. The kind of older tier vendor, after that stuff gets kicked out of it because it's not new anymore, it's new-ish anymore, it's going to go to the Curator. And that vendor, too, will kind of come and go, but be a way that you can sort of pick up things that you missed during events years ago or something like that. That vendor is intended to come and go. I know that was not necessarily messaged correctly, but that is the intention. We did bring it back after people sort of call us out on not necessarily being as communicative on it as we should be. So we did bring it back through July 10th, right? July 10th, I think it was, through the summer festival. But when we made that announcement, the intent, we did specifically say, and this vendor is going to be coming in and out, and that is the intention for it. So I know that some folks would really like to see the Curator be available on a permanent basis, but that is not something that I can currently announce because that is not the current plan. Sorry. My understanding, Chromite, is on Anvil of Winter Stith, the Tier 3 set bonus jewelry box item level display is being fixed, and that it will get its proper item levels. Now, what you're saying is that the item levels are not necessarily correct currently, but my understanding is that, yes, it should be consistent after the patch there. So that's my intention. I need to double check the release notes, and of course we're still, maybe a week and a half out, something like that. But that is my belief anyway. Do you think you could slow down the Legendary server progression? Originally it was 4 months, but Mirkwood came out after only 3 of Moria. I think, it's going to be 3 to 4 months. The intention is to do it, periodically throughout the year. So I don't know that we're always going to hit a specific day and date like every 90 days or 120 days exactly. Because it kind of has to depend on what else is going on. But that is the intention. So I do think some will be perhaps a little on the slower side, and some, as we saw with Mirkwood, a little bit on the faster side. But we will take your feedback into consideration. And ultimately, if we have a lot of people saying, hey, slow down, I'm not there yet, or frankly, if our data shows that, then we can adjust as necessary. I think a Balrog action figure would be neat too. I'm kind of surprised this never happened. Surely there is one. Yep. Do I have any idea when a Boston event might happen? I don't know that it will be on this scale. This is fairly unusual that I was able to wrest aside a small amount of marketing money, kind of, right, to just make this happen. I can't guarantee that we'll do something for every convention, certainly. But I would target PAX East. We always at least have an informal meetup every PAX East in the Boston area. No ETA on the new raid. There's a Balrog pop figure. Okay.
Because there's a pop figure for every bloody thing on the planet.
I don't know what a pop figure is. Is that like a a fungo thing?
Funkos, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Do people actually buy those things, huh?
They're the Beanie Babies of the current decade.
They definitely are. They definitely are. You see I see them everywhere, but I can't say I really ever see them purchased.
You know that Black Friday trampling people to get to the big screen TVs at convention or at stores?
Yeah.
That's how the Funko Pops go at any convention where there's an exclusive.
Cool. Well, it's just a me issue then.
Chad, he's loading up the game for the first time in how many weeks?
It's been a couple, yeah.
Yeah, just a few.
So. Any plans to increase kinship member space? I have not heard of any plans to further expand storage. Sorry. Any plans on changing featured instance loot and instance change? I do think we will see the featured instance sort of shift around. I don't even know where it's one of those things that's like, where am I? What am I doing? I'm in the peaceful path.
Yep,
How did
you're
I end up here?
in Moria.
Yeah. I got to bring Celeborn's letter to Rolfer.
That's a post-Moria thing.
Okay.
You should be seeing book 2, I'm sorry,
Chapter
volume 2,
7.
book 7,
Yeah.
last
Find the
one.
workshop of Melkolf Stonecarver and search it for a mention of Zerthurk. Found in the side of Zirigzigel. Take the western exit from the peaceful path. Hey, take the western exit from the peaceful path. Turn west and climb a short slope to the entrance. Oh my gosh, that kind of sounds like directions to me. I can do things. Yep. Oh, you mean a actual member limit? That's a very good question, Corey. I can pass that along. I don't know that we've looked as to whether that's feasible or not.
Weren't you guys working on update to kinships at some point?
Yeah.
I remember when last I interviewed
Yes.
on site, he had not attended that meeting, so he had no info to give.
Yeah, I have not attended that meeting either, but yes.
Well, then you better tell the boss to expect a question about that in a couple weeks. Just saying.
Yeah, that should be cool. Are you heading my way, you said?
I am heading your way, yes.
Okay.
Because I was off doing other things while I
Yeah.
guest hosted your show last week.
Yeah, that's right. So you did guest host the show last week?
I
Like I say,
do.
I have been out. I was out for 9 days at one parent's house and then out for 7 days on the other. So that's 16 days total that I was just offline, which for me is fairly unusual. So I'm kind of a little behind on things. But there was a week in between there where I basically used to get caught up on necessary work and then kind of off for another week. So I'm a little bit out of kind of shape in terms of what's going on where. But as I said, I was working on release notes and that this week because that is coming up sooner rather than later. So I am at least familiar with that. But it's been interesting, like following Twitch events and things like that. I just have not really had time to do much of any of that. So
Are these guys gray to you or are they green?
they're gray.
We can ignore them. You don't have to be like Sapiens and his wife and I were last night. We were playing through the Lone Lands and we were just murdering everything for a while until we decided to take two of us under level and try to do the retake Weathertop instance as a 3-man. And, well, let's just say we died a lot. It was hilarious.
These halls will be great once more.
I'm glad you're liking the Bjorning. Like I said, we do have some really interesting Lotro news coming here pretty soon. But we're just not yet quite ready to talk about a few kind of content-related things we're working on here. So at least I want to be hesitant about being the one to announce that on the stream.
Oh, that's what you're here for, Jerry? Will we have news about it in a couple of weeks at Gen Con?
We'll have, yes, if it's not already out by then. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure our fine, upstanding colleagues over at Massively will be all over it.
Speaking of interviews, there was a recent interview that Chris Pearson did with the Long-Winded One podcast. I don't know if how many people here are familiar with that podcast. It tends to be a Lord of the Rings themed tabletop podcast, kind of one of those Let's Plays of tabletop RPG gaming. But they also do play some Lotro, and were interviewing Corey Olson a while back. And then kind of just through whatever reason, we're like, hey, can we talk to Chris Pearson and you a little bit? So we did that. And that is available on the Long-Winded One podcast as well. I think that's the content of that interview is something that would be of interest to people who like Lord of the Rings lore, Lotro lore in particular, and frankly just like to hear Chris Pearson talk, because he's got a lot of things to say.
They haven't actually interviewed Corey yet. He's going to be a near future guest, though.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, either way, it was a nice little interview, and you can check that out. I can't remember quite what the website is, but it's longwindedone.something.com.
.podbean.com.
.podbean.com? Okay. Whoa, I got knocked. Okay.
We do know that some of the devs are working on future content because Native Alliance has said so. And so is Pinion, actually.
Yeah, but have we said any words about it? Like,
You haven't because you've been out, but there have been a few posts on the forums where they've said that we're working on something. They haven't specified. And one of the times I was guest hosting your show, Pinion showed up in chat, so I asked him a couple of questions, and he gave us some vague answers. He was a good little minion, our Pinion.
shades in the swamp. An update on skirmish gear.
That would be nice, yeah.
It would be nice. I just don't really see it fitting into the schedule anytime soon. Sorry to say, but maybe. Headbutt! The most important skill.
See, for you, Headbutt is like the 11th Doctor passing by a fez. He just can't do it.
Yeah, alright. Yeah. I can click on it and then bonk everything in the head. Toughest noggin in Middle Earth. Dwinstrel the Dwarven Minstrel has. Just so you know, I will be doing that in raids as well.
That assumes you actually get to start doing raids, Jerry. We need to
Yes.
have to talk about that.
Well, I'm just saying, be prepared. You think I'm bad now. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, what is this map showing me? Still not finding paper somewhere. I must have skipped by something, huh?
I basically just ran in and
I'm down by the
places to
forge.
fall down.
So I'm down by the forge. Or like some kind of lava-y looking thing. And I
Yeah,
picked up
you've
2
gotten
scraps of
to-
paper, but
There's probably another... Well, what does your quest thing say?
it says search for scattered papers. But as far as I can
Okay, you're
tell, I
probably
picked them
missing
all
it
up.
before.
Yeah, it must be, but I...
Jiggle your wire, your camera just went out again.
Oh, did it? Yeah, this
Yeah.
computer is having a few problems. I think I may just have to...
I think you should ask Severlin to requisition a new one for you.
Yeah, I am having problems. I don't know what's going on with this camera. It's probably just a bad connection, so... Okay, there's... There's nothing under the water, is there? No?
Not under the... You can't...
Yeah. Weird.
There's one below the door.
Yeah, I caught... I might have missed one next to the entrance. That could very well be.
Yeah, you have to jump down from there.
But is there... And there's no way to get back up. Is there?
Well, you could always leave in.
Yeah. I think I may have to do that. Leave instance and come back in.
I mean, that's how you actually ultimately get out of it anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. That's, okay, no, I did get that one by the entrance, but nonetheless, I clearly needed to go back and do some searching. Oh, here we go.
Yep,
There we go.
down there.
Yeah. Yay. Cool. Oh, I gotta go back. Actually, where's Brian? Oh, in the peaceful path. Okay.
Yes, he is. You weren't past me?
Probably.
Probably.
Oh, here he is. Right.
They come to catch up to you.
Mm-hmm.
You've done it. You must walk the secret road. I wish I could come with you, but I cannot.
So, for those who, I mean, and I don't think there are too many people here who aren't familiar with Weatherstock, but for those who aren't familiar, what can they expect tomorrow? Like, what's it going to be?
Lag. What it's going to be is a metric ton of people on the summit of Weathertop. We do request, if at all possible, to minimize things that will contribute to the lag, such as having your pets out, like if you're a lore master, or having, cloaks on, mounts, doing AoEs, stuff like that. But yeah, you can expect lag because it has always been a lag happy because there's so many people in the zone. That's why we have layers in the game, because you're not supposed to cram more than 50 people in a specific small region. But since the server consolidation and the bigger server technology you guys gave us a few years back, we haven't actually crashed the zone, so that's pretty cool. But there will be people performing on the little cairn in the middle of the summit. At the very end, Professor Corey will be speaking. What will happen with Professor Corey speaking, because it's actually, he and I are going to jump in Discord like you and I are right now, and I'm going to stream it both here. His speech, his lecture will be given also, I will simulcast it to the Signum U channel if you want just the lecture. But it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of great, the top of the cream of the crop of the bands in Lotro. And this is the biggest Lotro player meetup every year.
And is it a competition this year?
Not this year. There's
Yep.
a reason for that. And I'm not at liberty to say why, but there's a reason. But it's basically for funsies. And a lot of work goes into it. My own Landerval Kinship Department of Harmony and Song, Department of Public Security, which will be taking Sapiens to Isengard here in the next few weeks, I think. They'll be performing on the summit, so that's really cool.
All right, I'm trying to figure out where you are on this map.
I'm still outside on Zerek Ziggle because I misplaced myself.
Yeah, I think we're
Because I was
running.
busy talking.
I'm up on the map here somewhere, but I got starting to see some green mobs, so I don't know.
Okay, so
How far
you're
up the sub?
somewhere-
Oh, now I just got knocked off. All right.
Okay, why don't you sit tight and kill things?
Yeah. There you are. No, Hadurb, I would not say that any kind of crash that was caused by a skill during Weatherstock would, quote, be the cause of something getting nerfed. However, an underlying issue that, when spammed, for example, would decrease server performance might well be something that we would want to address.
Yeah, Sam Burke is a member of the DHS, and yes, they did come in third place one year. And as we had mentioned earlier, we will be giving out titles. There's some new ones. Oh, this is the other way. Oh, we can go to where we need.
Ooh, let me talk to the stable master, and actually let me sell some stuff here too. I need to clear some space.
That's surprising. So generally what happens is it starts at 9:30 in the morning. How dare they make me get up in the morning on a Saturday? But
Yeah, what's up with that?
The Lonely Mountain Band will play what they call the Lag Buster set. It's basically a welcome to Weatherstock sort of thing, and they play some music and just kind of get things stretched out. If you are on, and this is on the Landreval server. So if you don't have a character normally on Landreval, get through the starting instance. If you can get debris, there will be people who can escort you or summon you to the summit. They'll have captains, and they'll have people who can like get you into the correct layer, because once it starts layering, you'll need help to get to where everybody else is. And if you just don't want to deal with all that and just want to listen to the music, come watch the stream. We'll be right here on Loto Stream. And then Professor Corey's will also be simulcast at 6 o'clock or whenever, because, you know, concert time plus Corey time equals God knows when.
Cool. And that'll be tomorrow. It should be a really good time. So every
Yep.
year that this happens, it's always just kind of an incredible thing. So it's way cool. Way cool.
I'm expecting,
All right, I'm done.
this will be the first year with a 64-bit client. I'm expecting fewer crashes to desktop due to memory issues.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's still going to be just a level of, you ought not spam stuff. I mean, but,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like when we did the Hobbit runs to Isengard.
Oops.
Where are you going?
Apparently the wrong way.
We had so many people, and having everybody up on mounts and, spamming AoEs or whatnot, it was a bit of an adventure, and it did cause lag, so.
Mark, you are correct. We definitely need Bjorning bear form emotes. If I could snap my fingers and make it happen, it would. I've been on so many modes of transportation lately. Plane, train, automobile.
Sounds like a Danny DeVito movie.
E-bike. I rode an e-bike. Yes, I rode an e-bike.
An e-bike?
An
Is that one of the ones that's got electric power on it?
That is.
Oh, interesting.
I think we're going the wrong way here, aren't we? Oh, no, we're not. Okay.
I'm not going the wrong way. We just took the different way to get back into Zergsigal. Or into, where proper.
But that's the wrong way.